The brutal truth about AI layoffs and how to survive. A few months ago, I dropped a video called Stop Giving AI a Promotion It Hasn't Earned Yet. In that video, I gave corporate America a reality check. I told them that businesses were treating generative AI like it was the greatest executive VP in human history, when in reality, it behaves like an overly eager, highly hallucinatory junior intern. It's an intern that writes beautiful prose, looks incredibly polished, but completely lacks judgment, makes up facts with absolute confidence, and requires constant adult supervision. My warning to leaders was simple. Don't hand the keys of your enterprise over to an intern. Well, guess what? They didn't listen. Fast forward to today, and we have to face the brutal truth. Some of you are watching this video right now because your company actually bought the hype. They didn't just promote the intern, they fired the adults in the room to make budget space for it. You got downsized. Your team of 10 became a team of 4 because an executive discovered a chatbot over a weekend golf trip and suddenly thought they were a corporate savior. So let's drag the elephant out of the server room and talk about real, raw survival. What do you actually do when a piece of software takes your paycheck? Part 1, the corporate machete. First, stop acting like the algorithm stole your lunch money. I know that sounds harsh. Losing a job sucks. Being told a machine can replicate what you spent a decade mastering is a massive insulting slap in the face. It feels deeply, painfully personal. But here is the first brutal truth you have to accept if you want to survive. AI is not sitting in a dark room plotting your downfall. AI is a tool, a terrifyingly fast tool, yes, but just an inanimate object. Let's look at history. The calculator didn't kill accounting. It killed the abacus. Spreadsheets didn't destroy finance. They destroyed graph paper and ledger books. The internet changed everything, but it didn't end work. Technology has always eaten jobs for breakfast. The only difference this time is the sheer velocity. What used to take decades of industrial transition is now happening over a single software update cycle. People are panicking, but panic has never paid a single mortgage in human history. Adaptation does. Now let's expose the companies using AI as a corporate machete. They fire 20 people, buy an enterprise software license, issue a flashy press release about digital transformation to pump their stock price, and then wonder why ratings cratered. Why? Because they fundamentally misunderstood the assignment. They thought they were replacing overhead. What they actually did was kick the guardrails off their own business. Part 2, the revenge of the adults in the room. Let's look at the boardroom mechanics. When a company cuts an experienced human and replaces them with an AI model, they are making a massive gamble on a ledger. They are betting that efficiency matters more than efficacy. They are betting that speed matters more than accuracy. But here is the second brutal truth that CEOs are realizing about 6 months too late. When you fire the adults in the room, the intern runs wild. Companies are discovering that while the intern can generate 500 emails in 4 seconds, it lacks context. It just promised a full refund for an issue that didn't exist. There is a massive list of critical, revenue-driving business elements that AI still absolutely sucks at. Point 1, high-stakes judgment. An AI looks backward to predict forward. Humans look forward to create the future. It cannot tell you what to do when an unprecedented market event hits. Point 2, genuine relationship and trust. People do not buy from software. People buy from people. They want a human being who can walk into a room, look them in the eye, absorb the pressure, and rebuild the relationship based on actual trust. Point 3, navigating ambiguity. AI requires clean parameters, but leadership is about navigating the gray areas. But the moments where every single data point is conflicting, and you still have to make a definitive call based on gut, intuition, and experience. Part 3, the survival playbook. Your move is to transition from the person who is threatened by the intern to the person who manages the intern. Step 1, kill the denial. Stop waiting for the government to regulate it. Stop waiting for your industry to go back to normal. Normal is dead. The minute you stop wishing reality was different is the minute you can actually start leveraging the reality you have. Step 2, move up the value chain. If your daily job can be completely automated by a basic prompt, you are in the impact zone. Your value is in your domain expertise, your ability to audit the output, verify accuracy, and apply judgment. Don't be the person typing, be the manager signing off. Step 3, weaponize the tool before they weaponize it against you. Learn prompting, learn automation pipelines. Become the person who drives the forklift instead of the person standing in its path. If you pair domain knowledge with the speed of AI, you become unstoppable. Step 4, double down on the uncomputable. The more transactional your skills are, the more vulnerable you are. The more relational your skills are, the more indispensable you become. Sharpen your leadership. Learn how to manage up and resolve conflict. The future doesn't belong to the smartest person in the room anymore. It belongs to the person who knows how to combine what they know with what AI can do. A master carpenter isn't intimidated by a power saw. A chef isn't terrified of a sharper knife. True professionals don't fear better tools. They own them. Stop fearing the tool. Become the person who handles it better than everyone else in the building. Artificial intelligence might rewrite the rules, but human intelligence still wins the game. To survive, you must kill the denial, move up the value chain, weaponize the tool, and double down on the uncomputable judgment, trust, and navigating ambiguity. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.